Welcome back to Poor Boys RC, guys. It's been a couple of weeks since my last video. I've been away on vacation, spending some time with family, helping bring up the next generation of RC enthusiasts, doing all sorts of great stuff. It's been a good time. We saw a grizzly bear. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Listen, today, guys, what I want to do is just do like an update video for you guys, let you know what's going on, what's coming down the pipeline, all that sort of good stuff. We got a lot to talk about today, so roll the intro.
Excellent!
Yeah, the last couple weeks have been really awesome. I got to spend some time with my nieces who I don't get to see very often. They grow like weeds. It is so crazy. But guys, listen, we got them driving the Tamiya Wild Willie 2 and the CC01 Ford Bronco. They were having a great time blasting around with these things. How great is it to spend some time with family and to see those smiles on those kids' faces? Kind of reminds you of yourself when you were that age. These girls are just 12 years old, and I think I was about 10 or 11 when I got my first RC car, and I was about 12 when I got my first hobby grade. What a difference that was. So just so awesome to see their faces smiling, everyone having a great time. It was spectacular. We were out in Golden, a town called Golden, British Columbia, right in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. We got to see a grizzly bear, which had it was in this private little captive thing where that sounds kind of bad, but really the guy had 200 acres to explore. He had a really great life. Got to check out White Tooth Brewing Company, play some cornhole, drink some delicious IPAs. Guys, it was awesome. And one of the highlights of the trip was taking the Land Rover, my trusty Land Rover Ron Burgundy, up a mountain called Mount 7. And they call it Mount 7 because in the wintertime, I guess the snow forms a giant 7 on the hill. And we got to drive up to this amazing lookout spot, which is actually a hang gliding takeoff location. But look at these views, guys. It was just out of control. It was such an awesome experience. And it was nice to just kind of disconnect from social media for a little while, put the phone down, just kind of, melt together with family and just enjoy the moment. It was really awesome. So very grateful to have had that moment and share a little bit of it with you guys. Next thing on the menu for today, guys, is I wanted to talk about my Tamiya Super Sabre debacle. That's the name I'm giving it. If you saw my short video on Thursday, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I had a heck of a time trying to get this thing out for a beach running video. We did a vote on YouTube to see which car you guys wanted to see out on the beach. The Super Sabre won the vote. I'm really happy that it did because it's actually the one that I was really hoping to take out. And guys, if it could have gone wrong, it did. Let's start off with the first issue we had. First issue we had was with the speed controller that I had in there. One of these KYRCs, I should have known, named like KYRC, but anyway, I got these on eBay. I'm gonna put a link down below to make sure you do not buy these. I bought 3 or 4 of them, I think. And of the 3 or 4, I have one that has worked. And even when, it works, but it's still kind of glitchy and kind of crappy. This thing was in this Super Sabre right from the get-go. I hadn't driven this before, and I just plugged a battery in. I did some testing just on the bench and on the carpet here. Glitching, and it just went poof, went up in smoke, just on the bench. So that's why I cut all the wires off of it. So these things are just absolute junk, and I would strongly recommend you stay away from them. They belong in one spot only, and that's the bin. I replaced that with a Hobbywing, the trusted, tried, tested, and true Hobbywing 1060, and all was good in the world. At the time, I had the Tamiya Superstock, it's just the RZ motor in here. You can see right now I've got a silver can. More on that in a second. And when I like to go to the beach, I always start off by filming my slow motion jump shots. They're my favorite shots, and they get me hyped up for the rest of the video. I do run on a 3S pack when I do that. And I know I'm not supposed to. I know some of you guys are rolling your eyes at me right now, but I've been doing it for years. And I've never burnt a motor up yet, knock on wood. Well, until this one went up. Guys, it was on jump 4 or 5. I could smell the motor getting hot. And by jump 5 or 6, it was just up in smoke. And this was another brand new motor, and it was just billowing smoke. It is locked up right now. I can barely turn it. I can't even turn it by hand right now. This motor is absolutely cooked. I was only out there for about, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. I set up all my ramps. I built them all in the driftwood, and this sucker went up in smoke. I didn't have a spare motor on me, so I had to go home. But I was still being positive, and at the time I'm thinking to myself, I still have all day. I started recording early, and I had the rest of the day. So I dropped in this silver can motor, as you see right here, and we did a little bench testing with that just to make sure it was working before we went out. And unfortunately, I had no power. when this guy went up in smoke, it took out the throttle functionality on the 1060. So that's 2 speed controllers gone, 1 motor gone already. Man. So I dropped in another 1060, which is in there now. Everything was working. We're good to go. Went back to the beach, and this motor, I'll tell you guys, it was getting hot. Same thing. I got a couple runs out of it, a couple jumps out of it, and it was just smoking hot. This thing's cooked. I'm not going to use this motor anymore. I think it's toast as well. Didn't go up in the epic smoke show that this one did. It was overheated, and it was struggling. And all I can say is that the Super Saber, I don't know if it's just the gearing on it or what it is. I mean, the sand was really very loose kind of coarser sand with a lot of bumps and stuff. So it was really working hard. Man, it was just struggling, and it wasn't very fun. It was kind of a rough day. Now, on top of all that, all of you guys that own a Super Saber or a Boomerang will know how the steering mechanism works. Kind of has that slider thing going on. I was getting sand packed in the slider, and I couldn't steer. It was just bad, you know. And I always say a bad day of RCing is still a good day, so I'm not going to totally complain. But considering, you know, I put about 3 or 4 hours of effort into the day trying to make things work, I couldn't get it to work to save my life. So I did promise you guys a running video with this. I will get a running video, but it's going to be down the line a little bit further. But I'll tell you something else. When I got home, it was still early enough in the day. I thought, well, the second car in that vote that we did on YouTube was the TT02B. I figured maybe we'll take that one out. Did a little bench test with it to make sure it works. I had another one of these KYRC ESCs in the TT02B. And guess what? Completely dead on arrival. This thing, it would power up, the little LED would blink, but I had no throttle, I had no steering, nothing. I mucked around with it for an hour, nothing at all. Dropped another hobby wing in there, and it works great. So that is 3 of these that I bought that are, 2 are dead on arrival. 1 went up in smoke on testing, and another one just barely works. So these are no bueno in my books. Stay the heck away from this ESC. It is junk. To add insult to injury, when I was messing around with my TT02B, I kind of wrecked my receiver wire. I've got one of these Fly Sky receivers here, guys, and I don't think you can fix these. If you guys think you can fix these or know how to fix them, let me know down in the comments below, but I don't think you can fix these like you could the old school ones. They're kind of a different material there. It looks like almost like a, yeah, kind of like clear. It's not like a wire like it used to be back in the 80s and 90s. So as far as I can tell, this sucker is also cooked. So that was a very, very expensive day, not productive, highly frustrating, but that's all right. Again, a bad day of RCing is still a good day. We're going to bounce back and get these things on a bigger, better beach, going faster and crazier. I've got something planned for the Super Saber. Next on the agenda was raffles. We did our very first raffle, and guys, I'm going to say it was a pretty big success. Thank you to everyone who contributed. It was awesome, made a few bucks. It's going to go right back into the channel. We had a winner out in the UK, so congratulations to the winner, Andy. It'll get there when it gets there, but thank you, Andy, for winning, and thank you everybody for participating. We're going to have more raffles coming in the upcoming weeks and months, so stay tuned for those. I think it was a lot of fun and a great way to generate a bit of revenue for the channel and keep things moving. And we'll be back right after these messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers, robots in disguise.
Attack the Autobot Commander! Call in an Decepticon leader!
Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Transformers, sold separately from Hasbro.
Next on the list, guys, I picked up a couple vintage kits recently, one of which I'm going to save for another day. It gets its own episode, but here's one that I wanted to share with you guys. The Traxxas Hawk 2. Check this thing out, guys. And it is in mint condition. Look at that chassis. Not a scratch on it. Tires even have good tread on them, guys. Check that out. They're the OG Traxxas tires. The body is like the thinnest Lexan I've ever felt in my life. It could use a bit of a repaint, but overall, guys, this thing is in incredible condition. I want to get this body off and show you what's going on under the hood here, because this thing is in outstanding shape. And a quick shout out to my buddy Eric, who sent me some of these Traxxas body holder downer thingies from the back in the day. Still on the wall and still getting used on these vintage Traxxas kits as they come to the channel. So Thanks, buddy. But check this out, guys. This thing, like I said, it is in amazing shape. The shocks aren't even leaking oil. Like it's just incredible how clean it is. It's got one of those really nice Traxxas mechanical speed controllers in there as well. Even the resistor, like you can see it, like, you know how your resistors used to get all kind of cruddy looking after a ton of use. This one's very, very clean. Not something going on there. That's just spinning. Looks like we got some fixing to do there. But, you know, overall, guys, this thing is just in incredible condition. It's got the old school motor back there with the big capacitors on the back. We got the Airtronics receiver in here. Man, this thing is just a time capsule. How it survived in this condition, I have no idea. But this thing is in great shape, and I'm really, really happy to add it to the collection. And I wanted to ask you guys if you want to see a running video of it. I did a running video a couple years ago with my Traxxas sledgehammer when I picked that up. I'm going to throw a link down below on that as well. I think you guys are, if you haven't watched it, I think you're going to get a real kick out of it. It was a really fun video. And we even used Peter Gabriel's song Sledgehammer in that one. So I'm not double dipping here. I can't make any money off that. Peter Gabriel gets all my money off that one. But it's just a fun video, guys, a really good bash session. I did not hold back on it. And if you remember, the old sledgehammer had those spring-loaded body posts, and it just body jiggles all over the place. It's so silly. It's a really fun video to watch. So check that one out if you get a little extra time. And again, that hawk came in a combo pack. I got 2 RC cars. The other one is, I'm just going to say it is, well, I'll first say this. It's a Tamiya. It's vintage. It's highly collectible, and I'm pretty much going to leave it right there. It deserves its own show. It's going to get one in the upcoming weeks. Stay tuned for that. And believe it or not, guys, it's time to start talking about the 2024 Poor Boys RC Speedrun Challenge. Now, there's another YouTuber doing his own Speedrun Challenge right now, so please don't get the two mixed up. There is some overlap in the timelines. My Speedrun Challenge has nothing to do with that other one. It is a very different Speedrun Challenge. I'm pretty sure we've got a chassis selected, but again, I can't let you guys know just yet, just to make sure the level or the playing field is level so no one has a huge head start on anybody else. But the Speedrun Challenge is going to take place from August 1st to September 30th. On July 15th, I'm going to drop a video where we're going to talk about the rules, the classes, the chassis, hopefully answer every single question you guys may have. I'm anticipating a huge turnout. I mean, last year we had like 10 or 12 countries represented, 88 contestants, something like that. And this year now the channel's at like 29,000 subscribers. So this might get out of hand. So I hope we get a really good turnout. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we're focusing on kind of budget builds. We're not doing high dollar builds here, guys. These are going to be an inexpensive chassis that's cheap to work on, cheap to replace, cheap to buy, all that kind of stuff, and see how fast we can get it to go. So stay tuned for that, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them down below. But again, July 15th, we're going to have the whole introduction video on the 2024 Speedrun Challenge. I've already got prizes coming in from some manufacturers and some different vendors. We've got a lot of people on board this year from the hobby world, and some great prizes coming in. So I'm really, really excited because I think this is going to be the biggest and best one yet. So stay tuned for that. And last but not least today, guys, I want to talk about Axial Fest 2024. I think I'm going to be going this year. I've wanted to go for years. And although this channel, we really don't talk about crawlers a whole heck of a lot, I've really been into crawling for a very long time. I just don't really focus much on this channel because it just doesn't seem to generate any views. If you guys want to see more crawling videos, trail truck videos, that kind of thing, let me know. I love making them. They're so easy because the things move so slow. Trying to chase around an RC car that's going 40 kilometers an hour on sand and not fall in the ocean like I have a few times now is way more challenging. So if you guys want to see more crawler action, let me know. But anyway, that's beside the point. Axial Fest 2024 is happening July 15th. I'm pretty stoked. I think this year I'm going to be able to get down there. And if any of you guys are going, you guys want to meet up, let me know. You guys have my email address, poorboysrc78@gmail.com. If you're going to go to Axial Fest, let me know. I would love to meet up with some of you guys, shake your hands, have a beer with you, tell some fart jokes, and carry on. Axial Fest is one of those cool events. It's really a lot like the Speedrun Challenge, where it's just really focusing on just people that enjoy the hobby, getting together and just doing it all for fun together. It's just a fun thing to do. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm stoked. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks again so much for supporting Poor Boys RC. We'll see you guys out there. And until next time, be excellent to each other.